question is about pushing outside the comfort zone. There is some context to it that's not included in the description above, so I'm going to start by reading that. I'm doing yoga teacher training right now as a component of my business. I want to help women learn to trust themselves and their bodies after trauma. I'm realizing how much trust I still need to build within my own body. My biggest challenge is the mentality of pushing through pain for years as an athlete and emotionally versus listening. When the phrase "I can't" comes to mind in a yoga session or training, I'm having trouble determining when it is a moment to listen to my body or if it's an opportunity to push through mental doubts. So my question shortened is, how do you determine when to listen to your body and when to push it outside of its comfort zone? There's I think it's Henry Ford. I could be wrong on who I'm attributing this quote to, but I believe there is a quote. I'm not going to Google it. And it's essentially, and I'm not going to get this right either. If you think you can, you can, and if you think you can't, you can't. Have you guys heard that before? So it's interesting that you use the phrase, the words "I can't," that come up to the surface of your mind during a yoga practice. My guess is it's probably like you're holding a high plank, or you're doing mountain climbers, or you're holding that warrior one or warrior two for what feels like a long ass time, and you're like, is this ever going to be over? And your muscles are shaking, and your brain goes, I can't, right? When you think that, the natural reaction in the body is to believe that. So your brain is signaling to the muscles and to your desire to like be there and to push through. It's saying you can't, no, you can't. And then that is the belief. When your brain brings that up to the surface, regardless if it's ultimately true or not, that is what's going to become the truth in that moment because of believing that you can't. Okay? So, and I've been teaching yoga 10 years, so I get it. And sometimes I even say this in my classes, like, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Now, let's say I can. All right, I'm going to go into the next practice and I'm going to say I can. And to some extent that might make it feel easier because you have the belief that supports the physical structure and muscular strength in your body. I can. And so you start to feel really good. You're like, yes, I can do this. But then there might still be a point that goes, this is fucking hard. This is really hard. I'm wobbling all over the place. My muscles are shaking. I'm dripping sweat. This is just uncomfortable. Or I'm in a yin posture that's like, holy hip opening discomfort. How long are we staying here for again? And at that moment, there is an opportunity to potentially release an emotion that is part of the discomfort. So I like to ask, where is this discomfort coming from? The voice that says I can't or I don't want to anymore, is it rooted in a physical, my muscles are about to give out? Is it rooted in a mental, this sucks, this doesn't feel good, and my body's natural evolutionary state is to maintain a good feeling, or at least a fine, comfortable feeling? Or is it an emotion that's coming in and you're angry at the teacher who's making you stay there so long, and you're just getting pissed, and because you're pissed, it feels like you can't? But regardless, I invite you to ask, what is the source of I can't? Is it a physical I can't? Is it a mental I can't? Is it a emotional I can't? And figuring out where the root of that is being sourced from. So in that moment, you can catch yourself and be like, this is hard. So my brain does not want to do this. This goes against my daily routine and my like human nature of being a human, which is already hard on this planet. Now I'm doing this crazy yoga that's really hard, and it is pushing me outside my comfort zone. So check the root of the discomfort. Check the root of I can't. And then I also, at the same time, highly encourage you to nurture and take care of your body during a yoga practice. And this, we're using yoga as an example because this was the person's question. However, you can apply this really anywhere when you're feeling a discomfort or when you're hearing that internal dialogue of I can't. So as a teacher and as a practitioner as well, I love to go into child's pose and take breaks. I ask myself, what does my body need most today? And there are some practices and days where my body says, come on, Sarah, come on, push outside your comfort zone. Mountain climbers, let's go, 3, 2, 1, and like high speed. Or like, you got this high plank. Your arms are trembling, but that's not real. You can hold this longer. You can hold this longer. And I changed my self-talk. And then there's other days when I ask myself that question, what does my body truly need most today? And maybe I'm grieving or my heart is heavy, and just getting to the room was a challenge. The studio was a challenge that day. So I'm already proud of myself for showing up. I don't need to do 5 handstands. And instead, my soul truly needs to just feel. It doesn't need the physical component. It needs the emotional component. And so I'm just going to let myself be and feel the emotions and take the physical movement breaks, because yoga is not just about those physical asanas, postures. It is hugely about the spiritual, emotional, mental component as well. Mind, body, spirit, right? And so some practices are going to be, I'm going to be gentler with myself. Okay? Did I fully answer that question? Yeah, so when do you listen to your body versus what's an opportunity to push through? A good yoga teacher can also intuitively kind of sense which one you need. And maybe you're learning that as a teacher in teacher training as well. But you know best. You know best. And because you know best, ask your body, ask your mind, ask your spirit, what do you need most today? And if there is discomfort rustling up to the surface, what is the root of this discomfort? Is it physical? Do I have pulled groin and this lunge is killing me? Or is the root mental, where it's the self-talk that's getting in your head? Or is it emotional, where there's emotions? Like I just mentioned, there's days when I get into yoga and this grief pours out and I'm like, I don't need the handstand. I don't need the 5-minute warrior 1 today. I need child's pose. But you got to get really good at asking yourself and discerning within yourself, what do you need? And then it becomes very empowering. Okay. That's all for this question. See you guys in a minute.